Captain Elias Mercer stood on the observation deck of the starship Endeavour, staring out at the swirling colors of the Andromeda sector. Stars stretched like scattered diamonds across the void. But one planet below captured his attention. It was untouched, wild, with forests so dense they looked like oceans of green from orbit. The scanners had picked up unusual energy readings, and the mission was clear: explore, gather data, and return. But Elias felt an inexplicable pull toward this world. It wasn't just the mission, it was curiosity, the same drive that had made humans masters of their universe. The Endeavour descended slowly, cutting through the atmosphere with a gentle hum. Elias felt the familiar thrill in his chest, the mix of excitement and responsibility that came with first contact. Humanity had charted thousands of planets, met dozens of alien species, but each discovery was unique, and this one promised something extraordinary. As the landing gear touched down, Elias led the away team out onto the planet's surface. The air was thick but breathable, tinged with a scent unfamiliar yet faintly sweet, like a combination of flowers and fresh rain. Towering trees with silver bark and glowing veins stretched toward a sky painted with violet clouds. Strange, luminous birds darted between branches, leaving trails of light behind them. It was beautiful, almost otherworldly. Yet Elias felt a subtle tension in the air, as if the planet was alive and watching them. "Keep your scanners active and eyes open," Elias instructed. "We don't know what's waiting for us here." His voice carried authority, but there was warmth in it, the kind that reassured his crew even in unknown territory. They moved carefully through the forest, scanning every movement. Suddenly, a shimmer in the clearing ahead caught Elias's eye. A figure emerged. Humanoid, yet unlike anything he had seen before. She was tall, graceful, with skin that seemed to faintly reflect light and hair that shifted color with every movement. Her eyes were silver, wide with curiosity. She regarded them silently, tilting her head as though studying their intentions. Elias raised his hand in greeting. "We come in peace," he said. "I'm Captain Elias Mercer of the starship Endeavour. We're explorers. We mean no harm." The alien's lips moved in a subtle smile. Her voice, when she spoke, was melodic but soft. "I am Lyra. My ship crashed here. I've been alone for many cycles." The crew exchanged cautious glances, but Elias felt a spark of something unfamiliar. There was intelligence in her eyes, but also curiosity, and perhaps a hint of playfulness. "I'm sure we can help," Elias said gently. "Let's get you back to our ship and figure out a way home." He stepped closer, noticing the way she flinched slightly, yet didn't retreat. There was a nervous energy about her that reminded him of humans in strange environments, an instinct for caution balanced with fascination. As they walked toward the ship, Elias tried to put her at ease. He noticed small details, her subtle movements, the way she observed the forest, the careful way she touched plants without harming them. Humanity had always survived not just because of strength, but because of understanding. He wanted her to feel that same reassurance. "You're very observant," Elias said with a smile. "It's impressive." Lyra tilted her head again, a faint blush coloring her cheeks, though it was unlike human blush. "I have had a long time to learn," she replied quietly. There was a brief silence, comfortable but charged with unspoken questions. Elias felt an urge to bridge the gap between them. Humans had a way of using language to connect, to make others feel seen and valued. He tried a small, playful gesture. "Sweetheart," he said lightly, as if testing a word. Lyra's reaction was immediate. Her eyes widened, and a flush deepened across her face. She leaned slightly closer and whispered, almost shyly, "Say it again." Elias chuckled softly, amused and intrigued. "Sweetheart," he said again, slower this time, letting the warmth of the word settle in the air. Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. "You humans, you speak words with feelings," she said, a note of wonder in her voice. Elias realized that this simple nickname, this small human habit, had crossed a barrier that no scanner or translator could reach. It wasn't about language, it was about connection, about understanding and trust. They reached the Endeavor, and the crew guided Lyra aboard. The ship hummed with energy, lights reflecting off polished metal and glass panels. Inside, Lyra's gaze wandered, fascinated by the technology and human ways of moving through space. She was quiet but observant, asking questions here and there, learning quickly. Elias noted that her intelligence was sharp. She understood concepts humans had struggled with for decades. Yet there was a childlike wonder in her curiosity. While the crew set up medical scans to ensure she was unharmed, Elias remained near Lyra. He explained their mission, the need to explore and understand the galaxy, and the human philosophy that guided them. She listened intently, her eyes reflecting the soft lights of the ship. "You humans are remarkable," she said finally. "Even in your limitations, you find ways to survive, to thrive, to connect." Elias smiled, feeling a surge of pride. Humanity had always faced the unknown, adapting, learning, and pushing boundaries. This was what he wanted her to see, not just humans as explorers, but as beings capable of empathy, courage, and ingenuity. The evening on the ship passed with quiet conversations. Elias noticed Lyra glancing at the stars outside the viewport, a longing in her gaze. He joined her, pointing toward constellations familiar to humans. "Every star has a story," he said, "and we're here to write ours." Lyra's hand hovered near his, uncertain but curious. "And sometimes," she said softly, "those stories are shared with others, even across worlds." Elias nodded, touched by the sentiment. He repeated the word, gently, this time with intentional warmth. "Sweetheart." Unquote. Lyra's cheeks colored again, but she didn't step back. Instead, she leaned slightly closer, a quiet trust building between them. It was subtle, yet profound, an example of the unique human ability to create bonds in unexpected places. Suddenly, the ship's sensors blared. Red streaks crossed the scanner display. "Captain, the planet!" one crew member shouted. "Energy readings are spiking. Something is moving." Elias felt a familiar adrenaline surge. Humanity thrived under pressure, and he had trained his crew for moments like this. "Prepare for defensive protocols," he ordered, "and stay calm. We don't know what we're facing yet." Lyra's eyes widened, and she instinctively stepped behind him. Elias placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "It's all right," he said. "We face the unknown together." The red storm that descended over the planet was unlike anything they had seen. Winds whipped through the forests, carrying strange whispers that seemed almost sentient. Trees bent unnaturally, glowing veins pulsing with energy, as though the planet itself was alive. Yet Elias did not panic. He knew humans survived not just through strength, but through intelligence and teamwork. He would lead, and they would adapt. Lyra watched him closely, admiration in her silver eyes. She realized that this human, fragile yet determined, embodied the very qualities that had allowed his species to dominate the stars. She had spent her life alone, and yet in Elias and his crew, she saw the potential for alliance, for trust, for understanding across worlds. As the storm raged, Elias repeated the word once more, softly, as if it could anchor them through chaos. "Sweetheart." Lyra's whisper came back, barely audible over the roar of the winds. "Say it again." In that moment, amidst alien storms and unknown dangers, a bond was formed, a connection that was stronger than fear, stronger than distance, stronger than the unknown. Humanity had met the alien world not just with technology and courage, but with empathy and understanding. And for Elias, that was the greatest victory of all. The storm continued to swirl outside. But inside the Endeavor, there was calm. Humanity had landed on another world, faced the unknown, and in the process, found a spark of connection that could change the fate of two species. The adventure was just beginning, but Elias felt certain of one thing. Wherever the galaxy took them next, humans would rise to meet it. Together. And as Lyra whispered once more, her cheeks tinged with color, Elias knew this mission would not just be about exploration, it would be about discovering the extraordinary potential of humans and the bonds they could forge with the universe itself. The red storm that had surged across the planets, a surface was not a simple weather phenomenon. As the Endeavor's sensors analyzed the readings, it became clear that the energy signatures were intentional, almost intelligent. Elias and his crew gathered in the command center, watching as the scanner lights flickered in irregular patterns. "This isn't natural," Dr. Harper, the ship's xenobiologist, said, her voice tense. "The energy patterns are too structured. They're reacting to us." Elias leaned over the console, studying the display. "Then, the planet itself is aware of our presence," he said slowly. "We need to understand it before it decides we're a threat." Lyra stepped forward, her silver eyes scanning the holographic projections. "This is the ecosystem's defense mechanism," she said. "My people discovered it centuries ago. The planet tests all who enter. Only those who show intelligence, creativity, and emotional awareness can navigate it safely." Elias looked at her, curiosity piqued. "Tests? Like puzzles?" "Yes," Lyra replied. "But not just puzzles of the mind. The planet tests your spirit, your heart. It judges your intentions and your ability to understand others. Survival depends on it." The crew exchanged nervous glances. They were explorers, trained for danger, but this was different. This was a challenge designed to measure their very essence. Elias felt a thrill he hadn't experienced in years. Humanity had always faced the unknown and prevailed, not just with weapons or technology, but with empathy, ingenuity, and courage. He would lead his crew through this trial, and they would succeed. "Prepare an away team," he ordered. "We'll navigate the planet directly. Sensors alone won't give us the answers. We need to understand it firsthand." The storm had begun to ease in some regions, revealing paths through the alien forest that glowed faintly under the violet sky. Elias, Lyra, and a small team moved carefully, aware that every step could trigger a response from the planet. The first trial came swiftly. A bridge of living vines stretched across a chasm, pulsing with energy. As they stepped onto it, the vines shifted beneath their feet, rearranging themselves in unpredictable patterns. The crew froze, but Elias took a deep breath and studied the rhythm. He noticed that the vines moved in patterns, similar to waveforms he had seen in the storm energy. "Follow the rhythm," he instructed. "Step when the pulse fades slightly. It's testing our observation and timing." The crew moved carefully, one by one, following Elias's lead. When the last member crossed safely, a soft chime echoed through the air, and the vines settled into place. The planet had approved their first step. Lyra watched with fascination. "Humans think quickly and adapt," she said softly. "Most species would have panicked or retreated." Elias smiled at her. "It's what we do. But we survive together. Not alone." As they continued, the challenges grew more complex. Trees bent to create mazes, shadows shifted to confuse their senses, and alien creatures emerged, testing reactions and teamwork. Elias relied on human instincts, reading the environment, predicting patterns, and keeping the team focused. Lyra's scientific insight complemented his intuition perfectly. She noticed subtle signals, patterns in energy, and anomalies that even the sensors had missed. During a pause in the journey, they reached a small clearing. Soft, bioluminescent plants lit the space, and a gentle hum filled the air. Elias took a deep breath, allowing himself a brief moment of calm. Lyra turned to him, curiosity and wonder in her gaze. "You humans have a remarkable ability," she said quietly. "You face danger with intelligence and compassion. It is rare in the universe." Elias glanced at her and smiled. "We survive because we care, not just because we fight. That is what makes us strong." Lyra's expression softened, and for a brief moment, the tension of the trials faded. Elias repeated the word again, gently. "Sweetheart." Lyra's cheeks colored faintly, the blush unusual for her species. "You continue to surprise me," she whispered. "It is comforting." They pressed onward, reaching the second trial, a cavern filled with floating crystals that emitted shifting lights. As they stepped inside, the crystals projected illusions, fears, doubts, memories. Crew members hesitated, some frozen by visions of failure or loss. Elias recognized the illusion for what it was, a test of emotional resilience. He grabbed Lyra's hand, steadying her as a phantom image of a collapsed ship appeared before them. "Focus on the present," he said. "This is a trial. It cannot harm us if we keep our minds clear." Lyra nodded, absorbing his calm confidence. They guided the crew through, using logic and support to counter fear. By the time they emerged, the illusions dissipated, leaving only the soft glow of the cavern. "Most species would have fled or been trapped," Lyra remarked, her voice tinged with awe. "You humans, you face what frightens you and still move forward." Elias shrugged modestly. "It's what we do. We find a way, together." The final trial of the day was the most dangerous. A massive chasm split the forest, and across it floated platforms of energy. They moved erratically, some disappearing for moments, others shifting unpredictably. One misstep would send them plummeting into a glowing pit below. Elias studied the patterns, noting that the platforms responded to collective action. One could cross only if the team moved in coordination, anticipating changes and trusting each other. "Teamwork," he said firmly. "Watch each other. Trust your instincts and each other. We succeed as a group, not alone." They began to cross, calling out steps and warnings, coordinating movements. Lyra followed Elias's lead, her trust in him absolute. Each successful step reinforced their confidence, until they reached the opposite side safely. The planet responded with a soft, harmonious resonance. Trees bent in acknowledgement, the wind whispered approval, and the storm clouds dissipated, revealing the violet sky above. Lyra turned to Elias, her silver eyes bright. "I have never seen a species respond to challenges in such a complete way. Intelligence, courage, empathy, all combined. Humans are extraordinary." Elias felt a surge of pride. Humanity had survived not through dominance or strength alone, but by using the qualities that truly defined them. That night, under the glow of alien moons, the crew camped on a plateau. Elias and Lyra walked a short distance from the others, the soft hum of the planet in the background. She watched the stars, and he noticed the reflection of their glow in her eyes. "You speak words that carry feeling," she said softly. "Even in the midst of danger, you bring comfort." Elias smiled, repeating the nickname once more, "Sweetheart." Lyra's cheeks tinged with pink, the closest approximation to human blush she could manage. "You use this word as a shield and a bond," she said. "It is powerful." They shared a quiet moment, the air between them filled with trust and mutual understanding. Elias realized that survival was not just about overcoming physical trials, it was about connecting, about empathy, and about the bonds humans could form even across worlds. The next day, the planet revealed its final test. A vast river of liquid light cut through the forest, its currents shifting unpredictably. On the far side lay a structure, ancient and metallic, overgrown with vines and alien growths. Elias and the team knew that reaching it would be the key to completing the trials. Lyra analyzed the currents, noting subtle patterns and energy flows. "We must move with the river, not against it," she said. "The planet responds to understanding, not force." Elias nodded. "Then we move carefully, observing and adapting. Humanity survives by learning." Step by step, they navigated the river, working together to balance on floating rocks, timing their jumps, and adjusting to sudden changes. Crew members shouted encouragement, and the bond between human and alien grew stronger. At the structure, they found symbols and mechanisms that required both intellect and empathy to operate. Elias recognized patterns, Lyra deciphered meanings, and together they unlocked the gates. The planet's defense system had accepted them. As the gates opened, a soft, golden light washed over them. The red storm had vanished completely, leaving only calm. Lyra turned to Elias, awe evident in her expression. "You have passed the trials," she said. "Your species, it is capable of greatness beyond measure." Elias felt a sense of accomplishment, but more importantly, he felt the affirmation of humanity's unique strengths. Intelligence, courage, empathy, and the ability to form bonds even in the face of the unknown. That night, as the crew rested inside the ancient structure, Elias repeated the nickname once more, softly, for Lyra's ears alone. "Sweetheart." She smiled, the blush returning. "You always say it at the right time," she whispered. "It is comforting. It reminds me that even in a universe full of unknowns, trust and connection can guide us." Elias looked out at the stars, the thought resonating deep within him. Humanity's strength was not in weapons or technology alone, but in their hearts. In that moment, the Endeavor was more than a starship. It was a symbol of what humans could achieve, a testament to their resilience, and a beacon of hope for alliances yet to be formed. The planet had tested them, challenged them, and in the process, revealed the extraordinary nature of humans. Elias knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, full of trials and wonders, and humanity was ready to face them all. And as Lyra whispered once again, her cheeks tinged with color, Elias knew the bond they had formed would endure far beyond this planet. Together, they would explore, learn, and prove that humanity's greatest strength lay not just in surviving the stars but in thriving among them. The ancient structure on the alien planet hummed softly. As if alive, its golden light illuminated intricate carvings on the walls, symbols that seemed both technological and organic. Elias and his crew had never encountered anything like it. They explored cautiously, aware that the planet's trials had not been random. They were deliberate, testing not only intellect, but character. Lyra moved beside Elias, her eyes scanning the carvings with fascination. "This structure contains knowledge," she said quietly. "Knowledge of the planet, its energy, and its ecosystem. It was designed by an intelligent civilization long before my ancestors arrived." Elias nodded. "And it seems the planet wanted us to reach this point. Every trial, every challenge, led here. It's a test, and a gift, if we are worthy." As they advanced deeper into the structure, the first signs of difficulty appeared. Platforms shifted beneath their feet, corridors stretched unpredictably, and soft pulses of energy reacted to their presence. The walls seemed to watch them, responding to thought and movement. It was as if the structure itself were alive. And it demanded more than brute strength. It demanded understanding. The crew split into pairs to examine different areas, with Elias and Lyra taking the main corridor. Their progress was slow but steady. Lyra's knowledge of alien technology allowed them to bypass traps that would have ensnared humans alone, while Elias's intuition helped anticipate environmental changes and subtle shifts in energy patterns. "See that?" Elias pointed to a sequence of floating panels that changed color in response to movement. "It's a logic test, but it also responds to trust. If we hesitate or doubt each other, it punishes indecision," Lyra observed carefully. "It requires synchronization. Not just with the environment, but with each other." Elias smiled. "Then we move as one." He reached for her hand, a subtle gesture that spoke of trust and reassurance. She accepted it, and together they stepped onto the panels. Timing, movement, and intuition aligned perfectly, and the panels stabilized beneath their feet, allowing them to advance further into the structure. Meanwhile, other parts of the crew faced their own trials. Some corridors emitted illusions, testing memory and perception. Crew members saw visions of past failures, lost friends, and missed opportunities. Many hesitated, but with guidance and teamwork, they overcame the illusions, realizing that clarity of mind and confidence in one another were their greatest weapons. Hours passed, and the structure's challenges grew more complex. A vast chamber opened before them, filled with floating geometric shapes, each pulsing with alien energy. They were arranged in patterns that shifted continuously, forming puzzles that required both intellect and empathy to solve. Elias studied the shapes carefully. "This isn't just a puzzle of logic," he said. "It's a puzzle of understanding, of predicting how the shapes will respond to our actions and intentions." Lyra nodded. "And only a species capable of collaboration and emotional intelligence can succeed. Others might try brute force, but that would fail." Elias led the crew in careful, coordinated movements. Each shape responded to trust, teamwork, and observation. One misstep, one hesitation, and the pattern would collapse, forcing them to start again. But humans adapted quickly, learning from each failure and improving. Slowly, the shapes aligned, forming a path that led deeper into the chamber. At the center, they discovered a pedestal with a crystal-like device, radiating soft golden light. Lyra examined it, eyes wide with awe. "This contains the planet's knowledge," she said. "It is a repository of energy, science, and history. It responds to the morality and intellect of those who approach it. If we pass the final test, we may gain insights that could benefit countless worlds." Elias approached cautiously, placing his hand near the crystal. A soft pulse traveled through him, and the walls shimmered with light. Images filled the chamber. Visions of the planet's history, its guardians, and the countless species that had attempted its trials. Most had failed, unable to combine intelligence with empathy. Humans, however, were different. They approached challenges with curiosity, courage, and cooperation. Lyra's gaze met Elias's, admiration shining in her silver eyes. "Your species, it is exceptional. You do not conquer through fear alone. You understand, adapt, and care. That is rare in the galaxy." Elias smiled, feeling the weight of her words. Humanity had always survived by blending intellect with compassion, and now the universe itself seemed to recognize it. Suddenly, a new challenge appeared. The chamber began to shift violently, walls bending, shapes spinning faster. The crystal emitted pulses that tested not only intelligence, but courage. Illusions of danger appeared: giant chasms, collapsing floors, and shadowy figures that seemed to threaten them. "Stay together," Elias shouted. "Remember what we've learned. Observe, adapt, trust each other." Lyra nodded, gripping his hand. Together, they guided the crew through the chaos, relying on quick thinking and teamwork. Each successful step reinforced their confidence, and the chamber responded, stabilizing as they moved in harmony. As the last member reached the pedestal, the crystal's light expanded, filling the chamber. The energy was warm and welcoming, unlike anything they had felt before. It was as if the planet itself was acknowledging their success, recognizing humanity's unique combination of qualities. Lyra turned to Elias, awe evident in her expression. "You have proven yourselves worthy, not just with intellect, but with heart. That is the key. That is what the planet has always sought to test." Elias nodded, feeling a deep sense of pride, not personal, but for his species. Humanity had faced an intelligent and powerful challenge, and they had succeeded without violence, without deception, relying on empathy, courage, and ingenuity. That night, after the trials, Elias and Lyra stood outside the structure, looking at the alien stars above. The planet's surface was calm now, glowing faintly with soft light. The crew rested, exhausted but triumphant. "You speak words that carry feeling," Lyra said softly, turning to Elias. "Even in danger, even in uncertainty, your words give comfort and trust. You have a gift." Elias smiled, repeating the nickname once more. "Sweetheart." Lyra's cheeks tinged with color, a rare and delicate expression for her species. "You use it at the right moment," she whispered. It reminds me that even in the universe's vastness, connection and understanding are possible. Elias looked at her, realizing that their bond had grown beyond trust in survival. It was mutual respect, understanding, and something more profound. Humans had always formed bonds to overcome challenges, and this connection was a testament to their species' resilience. The next morning, the crew began studying the knowledge the crystal contained. Lyra assisted, translating and interpreting its energy-based information. It revealed technologies, energy systems, and ecological principles that could revolutionize space exploration. Most importantly, it demonstrated that collaboration, not domination, was the key to interacting with other intelligent species and ecosystems. Elias watched his crew and Lyra working together, proud of the human ability to adapt and learn. Humanity had faced the trials of this alien world and had emerged stronger, not through destruction, but through understanding and empathy. As the Endeavor prepared to depart, Lyra approached Elias one last time before boarding. "Your species is extraordinary," she said softly. "You combine strength, intellect, and heart in ways few can. I am grateful to have witnessed it firsthand." Elias nodded, feeling a deep sense of satisfaction. "And you have reminded us that knowledge is not just about technology or power. It is about connection, trust, and understanding. That is what makes us human." Lyra smiled faintly, her cheeks tinted with a soft glow. "And it is why I will join you, to explore, to learn, and to continue discovering what humanity is capable of." Elias's heart lifted. Lyra's decision meant more than companionship. It meant alliance, understanding, and the beginning of a partnership that could bridge species and worlds. The universe was vast, full of unknown challenges, but humanity had proven it could rise to meet them, not through fear or aggression, but through courage, ingenuity, and empathy. Before departure, Elias repeated the nickname once more, softly, just for Lyra. "Sweetheart," she responded with a gentle smile, the faintest blush on her face. "You always know what to say," she whispered. "It gives strength, even in uncertainty." As the Endeavor lifted off, leaving the planet's glowing forests behind, Elias looked at the stars ahead. The trials of this world had tested them, shaped them, and reminded him of the extraordinary nature of humans. They survived, thrived, and inspired even across galaxies, even in alien worlds. And as Lyra watched from beside him, a sense of partnership and trust blossomed. Humanity had proven itself once again. Intelligent, courageous, empathetic, and capable of forming bonds that could span the universe. The adventure was far from over. But one thing was certain: the galaxy had yet to see the full potential of humanity. And Elias was determined to show it. Step by step, star by star, the Endeavor sailed into the endless night, carrying humans and their allies toward new worlds, new discoveries, and new challenges. The galaxy awaited, and humanity was ready not just to survive, but to thrive. The Endeavor floated above the alien planet, its hull gleaming under the soft glow of the twin moons. The crew had spent days studying the knowledge the planet had gifted them. Lyra worked alongside them, translating the advanced energy systems, ecological data, and technological designs that could reshape interstellar travel. Elias watched her closely, noticing how naturally she had adapted to human ways, and how much she seemed to appreciate their patience and collaboration. Humanity's strength, he realized, was not just in their intellect, but in their ability to welcome others as partners, not subjects. Suddenly, the sensors detected movement on the horizon. Shadows shifted across the forest floor, faster than any natural predator could move. Crew members tensed, preparing for defense. But Elias held up his hand. "Wait," he said. "Observe first. React second. We have learned the value of understanding before action." Lyra nodded. "Agreed. These beings are likely watching us. Curiosity first, aggression only if necessary." From the forest emerged a fleet of ships, sleek and alien, clearly more advanced in technology than the Endeavor. Their weapons glinted in the violet light, and the energy readings suggested they were prepared for conflict. Elias's heart did not race in fear. Humanity had faced impossible odds before, not by brute force alone, but by thinking faster, adapting quicker, and showing resilience others underestimated. The lead alien ship communicated through energy pulses, a language of lights and vibrations. Lyra quickly decoded the pattern. "They are challenging us," she said. "They doubt our worth. They do not trust our intentions." Elias's lips curved into a determined smile. "Then we show them what humans are capable of, not just with technology, but with intelligence, courage, and strategy." The alien fleet advanced, testing the Endeavor's maneuvers. Elias and his crew responded with precise coordination, evading energy beams while maintaining formation. Lyra suggested tactics based on the planet's trials, demonstrating patterns the aliens hadn't anticipated. The Endeavor moved with fluidity, a combination of instinct, experience, and teamwork that outpaced the alien fleet's raw power. Elias seized a brief pause in the conflict. "We're not here to fight," he said, over comms. "We want knowledge, collaboration, and peace. That is humanity's way. We solve problems, not destroy worlds." The lead alien ship pulsed back in response. Lyra interpreted the signal. "They are testing our honesty. Their species respects strength, but values truth above all. We must prove that our intentions are genuine." Elias nodded. "Then we show them, through action, not words." He maneuvered the Endeavor into a visible display of precision and transparency, disabling weapon systems, while keeping shields active. The human crew demonstrated careful navigation, calculated risks, and above all, calm decision-making. The aliens hesitated, their ships pausing in formation. They observed, calculating, judging. Elias and Lyra exchanged a look. This was the ultimate test, humanity facing an equal or superior force and proving that intelligence, empathy, and courage could succeed where aggression might fail. Suddenly, one of the alien ships broke formation and approached. Its hull shimmered with light, and a voice translated by Lyra's interface spoke. "You are unlike others we have encountered. You do not strike first, yet you command strength. Your species, it is worthy. It is worthy." Relief and pride swept through the crew. Humanity had passed the final test of this planet, not only surviving its trials but demonstrating qualities that could inspire other species across the galaxy. Elias exhaled, feeling the culmination of everything they had endured, the storms, the illusions, the puzzles, and the cooperation that had defined their journey. Lyra stepped closer, her silver eyes reflecting the glow of the alien fleet. "I have learned much from you," she said softly. "Humans are more than their technology. You are brave, clever, and compassionate. That combination, it is rare." Elias smiled, repeating the words softly, instinctively. "Sweetheart." Lyra's cheeks colored, the faint blush of trust and connection returning. "You use it to remind me that even in challenge, there is calm. Even in uncertainty, there is reassurance. It is human, and it is extraordinary." The alien fleet signaled agreement and withdrew, leaving the Endeavor and its crew free to continue their mission. Elias realized that humans had not only survived the planet's trials, but had earned respect and potential alliances that could change the course of interstellar relations. As the crew prepared to depart the planet, Elias and Lyra stood together on the observation deck, watching the alien forests shimmer in the moonlight. "This planet," Elias said, "tested us in ways no one could anticipate. It taught us that survival isn't just about strength, it's about intelligence, empathy, and the bonds we form." Lyra nodded. "And it showed me that humans are capable of more than I ever imagined. I am honored to journey with you." Elias felt a warmth he had not anticipated. Their connection had grown beyond trust and survival. It was respect, understanding, and the quiet promise of partnership that could endure across the stars. He repeated the word, gently, as if it could anchor the moment. "Sweetheart," Lyra smiled, her cheeks tinged with the softest glow. "It is comforting," she whispered. "It reminds me that even in a vast, unpredictable universe, there are beings I can rely on." The Endeavor lifted off, engines humming, leaving the glowing forests behind. The planet's energy seemed to follow them, a silent acknowledgement of humanity's triumph. The crew felt a renewed sense of purpose. They had survived trials meant to challenge intellect, courage, and heart. Humanity had proven its worth, and now the universe had witnessed it. As the ship sailed into the star-studded expanse, Elias gathered his crew for a brief meeting. "We faced unknowns, challenges beyond our comprehension, and even superior forces," he said, "but we succeeded because we worked together, trusted each other, and stayed true to our principles. That is what it means to be human." Quote, the crew exchanged proud smiles. They had learned that strength was not just in firepower, that survival required intellect and empathy, and that trust and connection could overcome even the most formidable trials. Lyra stood among them, a living testament to the potential of interspecies cooperation. Days passed as the Endeavor charted a course for new systems. Elias and Lyra worked together, analyzing the planet's knowledge, designing ways to apply it to humanity's exploration and protection of other worlds. Lyra's insights were invaluable, and her appreciation for human ingenuity deepened. One evening, Elias and Lyra watched a distant nebula glow with reds, purples, and golds. "The universe is full of challenges," Elias said quietly, "but it is also full of wonder, discovery, and allies waiting to be found. Humanity's journey is just beginning." Lyra turned to him, eyes reflecting the nebula's colors. "And now, I journey with you," she said. "Together, we can face the unknown. Together, we can learn, adapt, and thrive." Elias smiled, repeating the nickname once more, softly. "Sweetheart." Lyra's faint blush returned, but this time, it was accompanied by a sense of joy and trust. "It is a word that carries warmth," she whispered. "It is a symbol of connection and strength." The Endeavor continued its voyage, the galaxy stretching endlessly before them. Planets of strange beauty, civilizations yet undiscovered, and mysteries waiting to be solved lay ahead. But Elias and his crew were prepared. Humanity had proven itself on this alien world, demonstrating intelligence, courage, empathy, and the ability to forge bonds that transcended species. The crew's morale was high. They trained, planned, and explored with renewed vigor, knowing that their actions could inspire other species and foster alliances. Elias felt a profound pride not just for his leadership, but for humanity as a whole. Humans thrived not because of dominance alone, but because of their capacity for connection, innovation, and understanding. Lyra continued to learn from the humans, while also teaching them about her own species and their technology. Their partnership grew stronger with every challenge they faced. Together, they designed energy systems, improved spacecraft efficiency, and discovered ways to protect uncharted worlds while respecting their ecosystems. One night, in the quiet of the observation deck, Elias looked at Lyra. "We have faced trials that would have broken others," he said softly. "But humans endure. We adapt, we think, we feel, and we care. That is our greatest strength." Lyra smiled, warmth radiating in her silver eyes. "And it is why I chose to join you. You are not just explorers, you are teachers, protectors, and friends. You embody what it means to be human." Elias felt a surge of gratitude. Humanity had survived countless challenges across the stars, and this journey had proven that their unique qualities could inspire others, bridge differences, and create a future full of possibility. As the Endeavor sailed onward, Lyra whispered softly, "Say it again." Elias's smile returned, gentle and reassuring. "Sweetheart," he said, the word carrying trust, warmth, and hope. Lyra's cheeks glowed faintly. and she nodded. The galaxy was vast, full of unknowns. But in that moment, the connection between them symbolized everything humanity stood for: courage, empathy, ingenuity, and the power of trust. And as stars stretched endlessly before them, Elias knew that humanity's story was far from over. The universe had seen their worth, and together with allies like Lyra, they would face the unknown with wisdom, bravery, and heart. The adventure would continue. But one thing was certain: humans would not just survive in the galaxy. They would thrive, inspire, and leave their mark among the stars. The Endeavor moved forward, engines humming steadily. Crew and allies worked side by side, minds and hearts united. Humanity had proven itself, not through conquest, but through understanding, courage, and connection. The galaxy awaited, and the stars shone brightly for those brave enough to reach for them. Elias looked at Lyra, repeating the word one final time, gently, as if to seal the promise of their shared journey. Sweetheart. Lyra's smile, warm and radiant, reflected everything the word had come to mean: a bond, a trust, and a future built on understanding. Humanity had not just survived, they had triumphed, and the universe would remember their legacy.